Okay, so for this dish I'm going to be using chicken portions. So I've used thighs and I've used 2 breasts because I'm going to be making chicken and rice as well as rice congee. So we're going to be poaching this chicken, but before we poach it, what we do is we cut off the little bits and little fatty pieces, as you can see there. And we're going to use those to extract oil from the chicken for the rice, to flavor the rice before we cook it. So this is quite important that you actually either keep little pieces of chicken skin cut off from previous usage, or you can trim from these pieces that we are using for this dish. I'm going to add a little bit of cooking oil to the bottom of the pan, the pot. I would say probably about 3 or 4 tablespoons full. Let it warm up a little bit. Then we're going to add some aromatics to it. We've got some chopped ginger and garlic and some spring onions, just roughly chopped. And this is just going to form the base of this chicken stock that we're going to boil the chicken in. Okay, so once we've got the aromatics in here, the garlic and the ginger and the spring onions in a little bit of oil in the pot, just to release some of those flavors, the basic flavors we're going to use for the stock. And I've also I've taken a stock cube and I've made a liter of chicken stock with one of those little stock cubes. So we've got that, we're going to add that, and then we're going to poach our chicken in this liquid. And this is going to become the basis of our broth for this dish and the next dish. So make sure that you make enough of this stock, because not only are we doing the chicken and rice, but we're also going to do a rice congee with the leftovers, which is fantastic. Okay, basically we've made the little stock base with some spring onion, ginger and garlic, and we've put it in oil and we've released some flavors into the oil. Then we've added 1 liter of chicken stock, which you can make with a cube. I've also added about 1.5 liters of normal cold water. I've used chicken pieces in here. I've used 2 breasts on the bone and 4 thighs. You can use whatever chicken you need to. You just obviously need to adjust your liquid volume for whatever chicken you're using. You bring the chicken up to the boil and then you turn it right down to a simmer, especially if you're using pieces. If you're using a whole chicken, I would boil it for about 10-15 minutes on high and then turn it right down to simmer. So I'm going to leave this on a simmer like this for about half an hour, and then I'll turn it off and let it just sit in the stock to carry on cooking. And it'll just be such tender, moist and soft, unbelievable chicken for this dish. Okay, so while the chicken is simmering quite nicely over here, on a very low simmer, chicken pieces are looking good. In this pan I've got the chicken offcuts, the little pieces of skin and fat that we've been keeping, and we're going to extract oil out of this. We're going to just fry them. I've put the half a teaspoon of oil just to stop them sticking, but I'm going to fry these up in this pot and get the oil to release all the chicken oil. And as you can see, there's quite a little bit of fat that's been released by the chicken skins and the fat, so we're going to use that to flavor the rice. Okay, so I've used the basmati long grain rice, and I've added 2 cups of rice because we're going to make rice congee with the leftovers of this chicken and rice dish. So I've added 2 cups of rice to the chicken oil that we extracted from those little skins and little bits of fat. Alright, we've toasted the rice in the chicken fat that we got from the little chicken pieces of skin and fat that we fried in this little pot. I'm now going to add stock from the actual stock pot. From that, I'm going to add 2 cups of stock to this rice. I'm just going to move it off the heat because this process is a little bit dangerous. I'm going to take it off the heat. We're going to add 2 cups of stock to it. I'll add another cup of stock and then 2 cups of water, and then it should be fine. We'll boil it away. Okay, fantastic. We've added 2 cups of stock from the chicken and 2 cups of boiling water to the rice to boil it. And once it boils away, when the level drops under the rice, we'll steam it. As you've seen in previous recipes, I've shown you the method how to do the best rice that you possibly can get. The rice has been steaming for a bit, so what I normally do with it is I just give it a little bit of a stir up, get the little bit of bottom rice to the top, like that. Just get it to move around a little bit like that, and then we put the lid back on, steam it some more for another 20 minutes or so. That's it. Okay, so for the spring onion and ginger oil, we're going to combine the finely chopped spring onion and finely chopped ginger into a little bowl, all together like that. Mix it nicely, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of salt just to get the juices worked out of this. Pull the juice out of the ginger and the spring onion a little bit before we add the hot oil, which I'll do in a minute and show you. Okay, so you've got smoking hot peanut oil that we just gently throw into there, and it'll go wild a little bit like that. That's how it's meant to go. So now you've created ginger and spring onion oil for this dish. Okay, so for the liquid sauce we're making for the chili paste, so we're going to have a little bit, 150 mils of, obviously you're going to use quantities based on what you're making. We've got 150 mils of chicken stock. I'm going to put a tablespoon of rice vinegar in. I'm going to add a teaspoon of sugar, brown sugar. You can obviously adjust that as you go along. Little pinch of salt like that, and another little thing that we add is 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Once it's heated up and everything, the sugar is dissolved, I'll taste it and I'll check it, and then I'll show you the next step, how we make the chili paste for this dish. Okay, cool. So for our chili paste, we've got all the chopped chilies, thanks to my mate Bruce, who grows these in his garden and gives me a lot of fresh chilies, which I love, and they're quite tasty and quite burny. So we add the chopped chilies, we add about a clove, a little bit nice large clove of garlic, and equal size of ginger goes into that little blender. Just pick up those little pieces, and then we also add the warm liquid that we've just made. So I'm not going to put it all in, I'm going to blend it first and check the consistency, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so basically here we've got our chili, the sauce that we made earlier on with the chopped chilies, ginger and garlic, and it's quite a nice fierce sauce. So the secret ingredient that I put in now is a tin of butter beans. Just straight out the tin, washed. We put them in here, we're going to blitz them together, and we're going to make a nice chili paste, which I'll show you once we're done. Okay, so once we've blitzed that, butter beans with the chili sauce, that's what you get. Absolutely fantastic. It's got a nice thick consistency, and this goes so well with this dish. You're going to absolutely love this. Okay, so the chicken, we've left it to cool down a little bit in the stock, so it sat there for another 30 minutes. So I'm going to take the chicken out and let it cool down. The chicken is tender and juicy and plump. Absolutely fantastic. Just tell you that this is succulent, juicy, tender pieces of chicken. So part of the original recipe for this chicken dish I've seen overseas, where they actually take the chicken and they dip it in an ice bath when it comes out of the stock, literally for 2 minutes, just to cool down the chicken and to stop the skin from being rubbery. So we're going to do the same. We're going to try it with this and see. I've never done this before. Dipped my warm chicken in cold ice bath. We're going to leave it in there for probably 30 seconds, take it out, and I'll let you know the outcome of that. Okay, so if you want to dish up and get fancy, you can take the rice, put it in a little bowl, flip it upside down, and then you get this beautiful hotel restaurant style end result. So then we're going to take the chicken and we're going to put that on top of the rice like that. I must tell you that the skin, I'm actually quite impressed with the way the skin's come out after dipping it in the cold water. It has definitely firmed up the skin quite nicely. And there's your chicken. We then add a little bit of freshness to this dish, so we add a little bit of cucumber, which you can just eat as you chew the dish. Put a little bit of spring onion over the top like that. We then give it a nice little dollop of this chili sauce paste that we made here, like that, because it works pretty well with it. And to finish it off, give it a little bit of this ginger and spring onion oil that we've made. And I think that together is an absolutely fantastic dish.